Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back. So I want to talk about what Gimple had to say about the third show, but also I guess the Walking Dead universe in general. This is more focused on the third show, or I guess his comments are, but I really want to talk about the Walking Dead universe in general because the CRM, the Commonwealth, and all of that, those are storylines that are going to be affecting the Walking Dead universe pretty massively in the next 2 years, I would say for sure. And so I want to talk about how it's going to affect the timeline and I guess the universe in general. So, of course, before we jump in, I do have to warn you for spoilers for the Walking Dead comics and spoilers for season 10 of The Walking Dead. And also, if you want reviews and trailer breakdowns, information breakdowns on The Walking Dead and stuff like that, just make sure to be a subscriber. So again, I'll leave a link to the article down below. This is the second of, I'm assuming 5 just because of it's this week. I'm assuming Entertainment Weekly is going to do 5, I guess, interviews, or they have 5 parts planned just throughout this week. Maybe not, I don't know, I'm just guessing right now, but part 2 dropped today. I'm assuming part 3 will drop tomorrow, and then we'll see how long this goes. Today we have the showrunner of the third show. His name is Matt Negrete, I believe, and then Scott Gimple. What Gimple did say in this interview is that the third show is going to be a little behind in the timeline when compared to The Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead is very, very far behind. They're still not even anywhere close to that 6-year time jump. I guess they're kind of maybe in season 6. I can't believe they're going to be in season 6 right away. That's insane. But maybe around then they'll be caught up more with season 9 of The Walking Dead when Rick was there anyways. But as of now, they're pretty far behind. This third show is going to be just a little bit behind in timeline. And that makes sense. Like for me, overall, the timeline of certain things I don't really care about. I would like a general answer. Like, does this take place around the time of The Walking Dead? Just be like, yeah, I don't care about the month specifically or the month or up to 6 months before. Maybe it does matter if you're wondering if a certain character is going to cross over or something like that, and where that character is going to be around that time and stuff. Like, in that sense, it does kind of matter. But overall, I generally don't care about a timeline. I mean, you can't map it out to the day. Like, Daryl was here doing this day, and the next week he was over here. You know what I mean? That's why I think with All Out War and the Savior arc, it got really, really messed up because things just really made no sense after a while. All Out War and even season 7, and I guess from Glenn's death all the way until the end was like 4 months or something, which is just so insane. To The Walking Dead's credit, though, they didn't try to label it that. Everyone kept referencing Maggie's pregnancy, like, holy shit, she's still pregnant? But yeah, so that's kind of interesting. The third show is actually going to be taking place around the time of The Walking Dead season 10, which I already knew. But Gimple also went further and said that The Walking Dead movies and the shows, or even the shows just in general, I would say, will be separate and deal with separate things. And so basically what he means is like, we'll get connections here and there, but overall they're going to deal with separate storylines and separate villains and just they're going to have their own things going on. And I do agree with that because like he says, The Walking Dead has amazing stuff coming up, like the show. And so he doesn't want the show to just follow, I guess, the Rick movie storyline with those villains, right? And so the CRM in that sense, yes, there's 3 communities and yeah, we will have little connections here and there. This is one world, but he really wants the shows to feel like they're their own little island, but obviously they're an island of, an ocean, which is the Walking Dead universe. And I just really agree with this too. I really think that, as soon as you start getting into this whole, like, I guess, cinematic universe type thing, it does get really hard to juggle the storylines. Like, I'm thinking of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how they accomplished all of that. If you think of each individual movie has their own storyline. There might be certain little things that happen where it's connected to the Avengers movies and when, you have all those characters assembling and all that. But overall, each individual movie deals with their own villain. Spider-Man, we dealt with Mysterio. There were no other characters, though you could have, say, like, even Doctor Strange appear randomly. Or I guess Nick Fury. I don't know why I said Doctor Strange, but you would have Nick Fury in there. And other movies like Iron Man or even Thor Dark World, you dealt with other villains and they are in this world and you might come back to them later on. And it definitely does do a lot of world building when you have those separate stories, but they all deal with separate, complete stories and they have this gigantic overall one that I guess they all keep coming back to. And I think that's where it's going to be very different with The Walking Dead, though, because for The Walking Dead, it's not like, I don't know, maybe that is the plan, but as of now, I don't see that being the plan. As of now, the third show and Fear and The Walking Dead, they'll deal with all of their separate storylines, but it's not like they're all going to converge into the Rick Grimes movie. You know what I mean? I don't think that's really the plan. We're not going to have this Avengers moment where they're all together, where we get all the Fear characters, Walking Dead characters, and all that coming together, because it just makes no sense to do that. So this cinematic universe, or whatever you would call it, the Walking Dead universe, is going to be very different from the MCU, I think, in that sense. Again, I don't know what they have planned. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I just, looking at it from that point of view, yeah, you can't really do what Marvel did unless you actually have a plan to bring Fear characters and Walking Dead characters and all of that together in like an Avengers type movie or something. But then it just feels so silly because when they separate, you're going to have to reference certain things. And then it's not like the TV shows or movies where you can just have a movie where these characters go over here and there's faster pacing. It's a television show, and those actors have to be filming there for how many months? 6-7 months. The show's going to be airing throughout October to April. I think it's just important to keep it separate, have little connections here and there, but just overall keep it completely separate. And maybe if you want to do a movie on someone, that's totally fine. But yeah, overall, I agree with what Gimple is saying here. And he also does comment on Nebraska, and no, they're not in Nebraska because it's nice. I like, he says that it's just because it's going to be different, I guess. It's not like it's Atlanta or Virginia. The show's going to be in a different place. And yeah, I mean, Nebraska, I think it's a good choice. I mean, it's not like they're doing it in the Arctic or something like that. Like, to me, it's going to still look the same as The Walking Dead, though I think we'll probably be more in a city environment, at least with this first season. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see visually with this third show. Thinking of that trailer, there are things that do look very different, things that we haven't really seen before in the Walking Dead universe. And so visually, it might look a lot different. And that might be enough, we'll see. Gimple also was asked about these 3 shows and maybe that's saturating the market. And what he says is that he doesn't believe it's going to. That, you know, there's always zombie movies or zombie shows. There's people doing zombie stories out there all the time. And that he just wants to do, like, they just want to do their own. And it's going to be, like, connected to The Walking Dead. It's going to be under that name. And so why not do that? Which I you know what, I overall agree. It is kind of weird. Like, I'm waiting for The Walking Dead to return. We're, 47 days, I believe, away. This is the longest wait we're going to have without any Walking Dead content. Because think about it. From January 1st to February 23rd, what is that? That's roughly 6-7 weeks right there. We're going to have 40 to 42 weeks of Walking Dead content this year. So that's like 10 to 12 weeks without any Walking Dead content. And so if we already have this break right now of 6 or 7 weeks, subtract that from that 10 or 12. I mean, we have another 5 or 6 weeks left this year without any Walking Dead content. And I'm assuming most of that is going to be at the end of the year. Like, season 11's mid-season finale for The Walking Dead is going to end at the end of November. And then the remainder of that year will have no Walking Dead content. So that means starting February 23rd until November, there will be nonstop Walking Dead content. It's just going to literally keep going. And so, I mean, I might as well, I don't know about Fear the Walking Dead, but maybe I could start reviewing it again and just see how 2020 goes. Literally review it from February 23rd. We'll have things to talk about every Sunday, starting then until the end of the year, which is just so insane to even think about. Because usually I'm prepared for, like, The Walking Dead's going to be done in April, and that's basically it until October. Because I don't really ever do Fear reviews too much. There's always like that break in the summer, but this year there might not actually be a break. We might be talking about this stuff all year. I mean, that could happen if I decided to. If I decide to do these reviews like that, yeah, that is what it's going to be. I am definitely watching the 3rd show for sure, and that's going to come out when? In April at some point. It'll end in June. So that already takes you from February to June. Yeah, I mean, it's 2020. If you're a Walking Dead fan, it's going to be insane. And I don't know if I like it yet. Obviously, I'm really, really open to it and I'm going to watch, but I want to see, like, in a year from now, is it a bad thing? How long can they keep doing this for? Like, for this year, it's exciting, but say it's 2024. Is it still going to be exciting, or is it going to be annoying because it's just nonstop Walking Dead? We'll see. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot you can do with zombies, and so you might as well. The Walking Dead, the way the world works, the way the zombies work and stuff, there's a lot you can do there. So I do want to talk about crossovers a little bit, just add that into this video, because Gimple, I don't know if he actually talked about it in this interview, maybe I just completely ignored it, but I know he said a couple months ago, or maybe it was sometime in the last year, that there's not going to really be that many more crossovers. I can't remember if he was talking about just Fear and The Walking Dead. I'm thinking that's probably what he meant, but I do want to talk about crossovers because as of now, in my opinion, all the crossovers have failed. I don't think any of them have been successful. With Morgan, it was really interesting in the beginning, and I really liked the fact that Morgan was leading Fear the Walking Dead. But after Madison's death, it just really started to fall apart for me. And then it just felt weird to have Morgan there because this was Morgan's show all of a sudden. You know, I wanted to have Morgan and Madison working together. That's what I wanted. But we're not, obviously, we're never going to get that. And so now we're just in this weird place where it's like, yeah, Morgan's over there. And I really feel like he shouldn't be because he shouldn't be the lead of the show. And he kind of is. And I don't like that. We then had Dwight go over. And you know, obviously, you guys know how I felt about that. It was nice seeing him. It was nice seeing Morgan and Dwight come together and talk about some old stuff because they never really had scenes together anyways. If not at all, I don't even think they ever communicated from what I remember. And so having them catch up, having that history there was a lot of fun. But what they've been doing with him since then, just like the first episode or two with him was fine. But then it got to a certain point where he just kind of gave up looking for Sherry, which I want to do a video on because season 6 is going to be interesting for that reason. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. The thing about the crossovers is that the way it's been done so far, it's always felt like they're taking away from The Walking Dead. I want to see how Dwight is going to react to Negan being out. I want Dwight to be around for the Whisper arc. I want Morgan to be there. With all of our characters leaving on The Walking Dead, I want as many recognizable faces as we can get. Having Dwight there, having Morgan there would be amazing. Having Morgan react to Rick's, I guess, parent death would be really, really awesome. To have that there, to have him a part of Alexandria, helping take care of RJ and Judith, I think would just be amazing. I think there's so much that they could do there, and they're just not doing it. Because Morgan's on Fear the Walking Dead, just for that reason, it's, you know, so in that sense, you are taking away. I'm okay with crossovers if it's just for a short amount of time, I think. If Morgan was there just for that season and then left, then yeah, cool. That was a season Morgan appeared. That would be cool. But so far, as of now, and obviously we only have 2 seasons to base this off of, but all the crossovers are like permanent. And I think for the 3rd show and then just the Walking Dead universe in general, I'm worried about crossovers for that reason. That every time they do it, they're always gonna, you know, they'll be there for a few seasons and maybe not even come back because I haven't heard anything about Morgan going back to the main show or even Dwight. So yeah, as of now, I hope they really, really limit their crossovers, and I hope, if anything, just don't do them in general. And if they are gonna do them, maybe it's for like an episode or 2, and that's basically it. Make it a crossover event like that, not a crossover event that is still technically happening. Because yeah, I don't know, but. Let me know what you guys all think. Actually, that is kind of weird when you think about it. Rick Grimes was actually in an episode of Fear the Walking Dead. Isn't that weird? That is just the weirdest thing ever. But I mean, he probably filmed that while they're filming The Walking Dead. Obviously, they just did a quick scene there and they just used that for Fear. But still, that's weird to think about. But let me know what you guys all think about crossovers and the 3rd show, the timeline stuff, and the Walking Dead universe in general. Do you think 2020 is going to be oversaturated with zombie stuff, or I guess Walking Dead content, or are you completely okay with it? Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.